Okay. Okay, so I don't have any dumpj. Let me see. Action comment link person.cpp. Oh, but in my person.cpp, I actually have dumpj for IP address, dumpj for for GPS location. But that I think that was for homework number 7. Okay, I have 3 dumpj in person.cpp. Post.h I have dumpj, and but I mean this is dumpj for h only. That was also my testing program to just dumpj for the history part. That's also for homework 7. The reaction, the tags, I have dumpj. Okay, so how do I do keys? Let me actually look at my post.cpp. Oh, here I didn't actually key. For key, I don't have the dumpj. I just basically write a code to directly construct an array. So I don't have any new dumpj, but I do modify the dumpj in the post.cpp to include a part that I can print out the key successfully. Because that's the main difference between homework 5 and homework 6, because now I have the key I need to handle. Okay. Let me see. For Groot, that the older element in the JSON doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Will you be deducted points because of different order? You shouldn't be. If the TA deduct a point, please discuss with me, and then we will see whether you got deducted, whether it's because of the different order or it's because something else. Okay, and we can discuss. I mean, I use that's why I use HW5 parse a lot, because whatever order you have, I can read it in, and then HW parse basically help me to produce the JSON follow exactly the same order. So just let you know that you can order your JSON element whatever way you want, but HW5 parse will print out based on the order of the alphabetic order of the keys. The key value pair, the first. Like, so that's why actions always come first, because it's ACTIONS. And I think the last one was always whatever it is. Okay, so just follow that order. So when I test whether your JSON is equivalent, I always just convert it to that alphabetic order, and then I see whether they're the same. Okay. Does that answer your question, Groot?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You're welcome. Jenny, I'll talk about this later. Diff and homework 7. Okay, let me actually take a look at the next one.
Can I ask about diff for homework 6?
Sure, go ahead.
So I tried to diff the base input 01 and my generated post. I'm like 99% sure they're the same based on looking at them, but I get a diff. Can I share my screen or something?
Sure.
Okay. It's disabled right now.
I just enabled it.
Okay. Because looking at it, it's in my opinion, the exact same. They even have the exact same amount of numbers.
I couldn't see your screen. Okay, now I can see your screen. Okay.
Yeah. So this is base.
What's the diff?
And then if I diff it, this is what I get for diff. but I get this no new line at the end of file.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so can I take my screen back?
Yeah.
Okay, so you will encounter problem because different environment, they have a different space. So
Mhm.
if you diff, don't diff something which is directly from a remote. You want to diff something which is from your own computer. So let me tell you that the tricks I use to diff. Okay, let me see. What do I have? Um, okay, assuming here I have a base one JSON, right? I have a base one JSON, and let me just give an example. Let me see, what do I have with my base one JSON? Yeah, this JSON looks horrible, right? This JSON looks really horrible. And then let me show you another JSON. Let me see. HW5, I have a few JSON I can really play around with. Okay, I have another JSON which is a base input JSON. Okay, maybe not use base input JSON. I will use style base input JSON. Okay, so if I do a diff base input JSON, JSON base input JSON 01 and data slash EC36B HW5 slash styled base input JSON is huge. There's a huge amount of difference, but don't do this way. I use HW5 parse. So HW5 parse is, I think I put it into HW5. So let me get my first JSON, which is a base JSON 1, and then I call it BBB 0, okay? And I use parse because parse actually is something which you on your own platform, it will try to reorder everything and it will try to arrange exactly the same way under the same component. Okay, sorry. I think it's easy. B HTTP5 styled base JSON. Okay, then I actually produce this to BBB1. So you see that I'm actually generate BBB0, BBB1 from there using the program on the same computer. And I believe now the difference will be a lot smaller. Because I know they're different, but they're not that different. Okay. Oh, so you see the difference mainly is about the key and the time. The time created time, because this is a two different JSON I create that some of you know that the earlier version of base input JSON was using time. And then I changed to created time. And also it doesn't have a key. So if you look at, that's the only difference. Hold on 1 second. If you look at the difference between these two, that's the only difference. It's only this for time and created time, and also the key I added to that, and the created time and time. So which means that you use these two lines of code to help you to basically transform your JSON into whatever you have on the same platform. So you eliminate a lot of those end of line and things like that. And when we grade your program, we supposed to use the same way to do that. Sometimes TA forgot to do that. If you have a huge difference, I actually took care of some of that already. Okay, so that help you to know what's the difference. I mean, because you need this information for you to debug your code. Okay, so I think this, when you visually see they're almost identical, using this way, it help you to check in reality exactly the difference here. Do you get what I'm trying to say, Jenny?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. You're welcome. Because we have a different platform and sometimes their implementation is a little bit different. So that's why we do this. Okay. Alexandria, which part is this? Is this homework? This is homework 6, right? You could not connect to localhost. Colin. Okay, so
Professor, I fixed it.
oh, you fixed it? Okay, okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, good. Thank you. I didn't write dump J for OK, just to let you know. Okay. I didn't write that, Melissa. Because I modify my post.cpp dump J to include all the key stuff.
Could we get more information on how you modified that post CPP to help out with the key dump J?
Okay, I'm going to record it here, and so you can see this part. Right, this is dump J for my posts. Have an action part, comment part, and then keys part. If you see that, they basically follow the same style. Okay, we're reusing the same pattern. It's always, I mean, if I want to do dump J first, I will check whether this pointer is equal to null. If the pointer is not equal to null and the key, because this session, like a keys, comment, links, they're all vector. So vector has a size. That's why I check whether the vector size is greater than 0. And if that, then I'm actually doing define array. In some sense, if you look at this, it's very similar to JSON2Post, right? This part of the code is really similar to JSON2Post. It's just doing the reverse way, okay? And I basically
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
go
I don't
ahead.
mean to interrupt. This is already on the post.o, right?
Yes, this is
Okay.
already on the post style. Yeah. Yeah. And but you can use post.o, but I think you should write your own code as well. Okay, make sure the code is okay. Post.o is kind of give you a reference about how to debug. You can unplug one and plug in. Yeah. All right, so this is like the code, and similar to that structure. I mean, I give you a few seconds. I mean, this is recorded, but do you have any question about this piece of code? The structure will be really reused in many other sections of this piece of code.
Okay, thank you. I see how it's similar to what we were doing before.
Right, right. Okay, good. Let me see next question.
Professor, I have a quick question. Is homework 7 due Friday? Because I remember you said
No,
that.
it's not due Friday. It's actually due Monday, but the Canvas doesn't allow me to set any deadline after that. Friday was the last day I can set from the Canvas, and I have to set one, but it won't be considered late until Monday, because I need to turn in the grade Wednesday. I think sometime Wednesday midnight or Wednesday noon or whatever, before I receive a message to say, hey, you haven't turned in your grade. So it's the Wednesday, I think is June 17 or something like that. So so I try to do Monday, so I have a Tuesday I can finish grading. Okay.
Okay, that's Monday midnight.
Monday midnight. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. I'm looking at Wei Pin's question. To Wei Pin's question, that if you use new, you didn't delete, that won't cause segmentation fault. That won't cause, because If you don't delete, you're just wasting memory on the heap, but you're not accessing some memory because the memory address on the heap is accessible by a user program. So that's why it won't cause segmentation fault. However, if you forgot to delete, if you keep running your program, you might run out of memory. If you forgot to delete the memory that you should have. Okay, I do want to say this. Sometimes if you delete something twice, you're going to get segmentation fault. So it means that delete, you have to be careful that this is really the right place to delete. Because if you allocate a memory, you delete means you free the pointer once, and then you delete it again, which means that that pointer is already belong to somebody else, and you try to delete it. Sometimes that will cause segmentation fault. Okay. I don't think you need to. I forgot what I did for my. So I'm looking at the question about whether you need to modify OKey. Let's see what I did. I don't think you need to modify OKey at all. Yeah, you don't need to modify OKey because OKey is like this. I didn't modify OKey, but I do. There are a function I developed related to OKey. I put it to JSON post .cpp, and this two program under the redacted version, and you don't have to modify this too. Okay, this is, you can use it as it is if you understand what the code is trying to do. Does that answer your question, Sesame? I'm actually your question about we have to add the OKey. Okay, Alexandria, are you getting the error while running the server? At the same, you should put that to start the server. Arnett, I talk about how to handle segmentation fault. Is that helpful for your question? Arnett Q. Okay. What is the output supposed to look like when you run step 4? Sweta, let me check your question very quickly. You talk about step 4. Let me bring up my assignment itself. Okay, Sweta, you're talking about this part, right? So basically, when you run the step 4, I do not mandate anything that will happen in the server side. So for step 4 is only the client side. The client side, what happened is that because when you call the remote procedure call, you're going to see an array of JSON posts. I mean, if you follow this particular example in test case 1, that in that array, there is only one post. Okay, so that's only one post. But in the test case number 2, in step 4, you're going to get array of 2. And therefore, here what we are trying to say is that with the expected output is that you are actually going to save a copy of the post. So this is essentially what I draw the picture on. I think is lecture 14. Let me show you the slide to illustrate the problem. Here. So when you do the search, after you've done the search, you will actually get a copy. Sorry about that. Maybe this is not the place. Where's my search? So basically, this is not for search. This is the slide is for update, but it's actually work for search. Means that when you actually get a search, you get a list of objects, and you should actually save it as a local copy of like a post, something. So maybe you change the slides, okay? Since I'm here, I just want to use this slides. So this is your, no, this is, where's the search? Okay, here's the search, right? You're getting the array. So let me just copy this slide. Where am I? Is this search? Yeah, this is a search. Yeah, this looks like this is search. Okay, I'll do this. So basically, let me get rid of this. So after you've done the search, you will take this result and then produce a file at the client side. Essentially, what I'm saying is that when you do a search engine, when you type a keyword, is receive some element to your local browser. And the local browser basically keep a cache copy about the content you just received. So that's, you can consider as a local cache for yourself, that you can use it in the future, or you can actually keep it as a record, or you can just use it to merge with your new update, so you have your new local copy. Okay. Does that answer your question?
I think so, yeah. So just to clarify, on the client side, when it prints out, it should just print out the JSON file again, right? Not the name of the file.
So in my homework specification, in my reference implementation, I did print it out, the style JSON, to print out what I received, but that is mostly for debugging. So for homework 6, your client side, you didn't print it out, it's okay. But you must print it into a file. You must convert that JSON into a file. Because sometimes the student have both debugging statement and the JSON, they kind of mix together. It's really hard for us to check whether your result is correct. But if you put that JSON into a file, and that action will derive into a file, and I can easily just compare that file with whatever search result, whether it's correct or not. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Sweta. Let me see, what's the next question? Okay. Thing is, yes, this is for Groot, that the array you receive exactly looks like what you put down here, that the count is equal to 2, and oh, by the way, it's a little bit different. Let me put it down, put it here. Okay. I'm going to share my. This is a response to Group's question. He shared some comment. I just want to clarify. So what Group put on the comment, the JSON looks like this format. Okay, I just want to be. I mean, maybe he's just doing this really fast. He missed a few things, but that's okay. Thank you for sharing this. I just want to be double check, make sure we are on the same page. So what I expect the JSON from the server will be, looks like this. Okay, have a double quote is equal to 2, and then here should be data. Usually in the, this is not required by JSON, but it's actually in the for a lot of practical implementation, such as Facebook API, they always have account and data as a format, so you know. And so it looks like this, have a 2 of like this. And each of this, I'm going to mark it as a color. Red is a JSON. This is the red things here. Maybe I change the color so we don't confuse ourselves. The red thing and the green thing, they essentially equivalent to a JSON post. So you basically put 2 JSON posts in there. So this is, the red things here is equivalent to 1 post that you had for homework assignment number 5. The output of HW5 produce or whatever, okay? You just make sure that this is a format that the server should produce, then the client will be able to handle that. I mean, the reason I emphasize on this is also important is for homework number 6, you actually develop both the client side and server side. And therefore, you can decide whatever format you want. But for homework assignment number 7, you only do the client side. The server side is actually, we provide one for you to use. And therefore, the communication between the client side and the server side is very important. You want to develop your client such that your client is compatible with what we have running on the server. And this is the format that you will be receiving when you call HW7 search, okay? And you're going to get this type of thing, okay? Is that okay, Groot?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. For the extra credit, because the extra credit has 2 parts. Okay, I think your part 2 extra credit, you're talking about the distance and also the timestamp, right? Divyap, that's what you're talking about. I think you need to modify number 1, the search clause. How do you handle the search clause part? That the search clause part is actually on HW5, HW6 server. So it will receive the search clause, not just looking for keyword, but looking for, say, GPS location, for example. But that's the first thing you need to search. You need to modify the HW6 server part. And the second part you need to modify is on the JSON to post, because now you actually need to handle one extra attribute is called location. If you look at one of the JSON, I think is update 3 or update 4, which has that locality in there for you to do the search. So so the base JSON, let me actually just show you this. So this one is, this test case is already on the server. I want to just show you what it is. I think it's base JSON 3. So I'm going to do this. Data slash EC36B, HW5 parse JSON base 3. Okay, if you look at this is JSON, now I have a new attribute called location. looks like this. So basically, the location is a JSON object. The key is the location, but the content is a JSON object contain two more key value pair. One is a latitude, which is a double. One's a longitude, is a double. So which means that in your JSON post comment as well as dump J, that you need to handle this extra attribute that you have. Follow the same paradigm, but do take a look at the JSON to see its format. Okay, so there is a dump J for post, and there is JSON to post code. You have to handle that, and then the search engine part. In the search engine part, then what you need to do is that the search clause will now have the GPS location, and the search engine, which is HW6 search.cpp, you need to use the distance function. The distance function to compare the distance between this location of the post. Each of the posts, you iterate through the post map and extract the location, and then try to find the distance using the distance function between the search clause and this is whether they're within certain miles. And then that's how you can deal with this case. Is that answer your question, Divya? Okay, I'll see the following comment. Just ask me. So I think, Groot, for your question about for bonus part, for the part 1, you need to modify, not for part 2. So let me talk about part 2 first, because I just talked about that. If you want to search for the, say, based on GPS location or based on time, the HW6 will behave exactly the same. It's just receiving the search clause from the command line argument. It doesn't have to do anything. It just pass it to the HW6 server. So HW6 server has to do all this and then get it done. Okay, so that's for part 1. That's for part 2. For part 1 is a little bit different, because part 1, let me actually check that for you. So this is for Groot's question. Let me actually take a look at my HW6, say search. Let's do it just HW6 update, okay. Oh, I call it HW7 update, sorry about that. Okay, in my code, at some point, is actually going to do this part. It tried to do set up the HTTP, but here is, you see that I'm actually capturing the try and catch. Here is my client update. So this, when you're writing this code, when you had a connection failure, means that the remote server died. So typically you will catch that exception saying that, wait a minute, the CURL failed because the connection cannot be established, right? So typically at this time, we just print that message, we die. The program just finished, and we try to fix the server for you to retry again. So this piece of code, let me just describe this very quickly about what need to be done. I will just use this as example. What you need to be done is that you have to somehow put the loop here. You somehow put the loop. Let me actually just write a pseudo code, okay? The loop looks like it's a while loop. And I will probably do just while 1, means that it will loop forever, okay? And over here, of course, this is the end of the loop, right? And then you're going to try to do this, but you try to do this, but then you can actually do the simplest way is, okay, you do this, and then you can say sleep for say 10 seconds. Okay, you do a sleep for 10 seconds. What does that mean? It means that you fail, then you sleep for 10 seconds, you go back and try to do that again. Okay, so that's a very simple way of keep doing whatever you have. But that not necessarily works fine, because if the client is if the server is actually running for a long time, didn't come back, and you might want to save some state. You might want to say, I'll use the word might, depending on how you want to use it, how you want to do it. You might want to save some of the state. For example, you will save to a file called to be upload. I would say to be upload, and then you put this whatever the ID.json. Okay, so you basically have a keeper there, and so then when you wake up, you try to, or you actually just run the program. You decide to read this file in, and then try to upload that. Or you can read the file in, merge with your next update, and upload. So there's a lot of things you potentially can do. I don't mandate you what you did here, but you have to present a story that's actually have some kind of robustness, that when something is, the server is not available, how do you actually make sure that your client will not give up, will continue to work on that, okay? Does that answer your question? I think that
Yeah,
was
thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Let me see, what do I have? Okay, Arnip asked a question, is anybody doing the .o file? I didn't know. Alexandra already answered your question, right? It's not due this Friday. It was just because of the canvas restrict me. Meg, I have a question about JSON post CPP and VLTs. Melissa, have you, what is your question about
Professor, she left.
Oh, she left? Okay,
She
okay, okay. Thank you, Arnip. Is it Arnip who I just answered the question?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank
you.
Sydney, you said the comments is having problem, right? Okay, the issue is interesting that because comments is usually the most complicated section, but here is a one question I have is that, let me actually show you this. I think this is related to lecture 15, but I just want to share with everybody about what need to be done. So I help people to debug the code. So in the comment.cpp, let me make it a little bit bigger. So in comment.cpp, in the constructor, this is called constructor, that you have all this. This is a very standard. You try to update your argument into your members in your class comment. But this two line is very critical. Okay, this two line is very critical. It basically, you have to have this two line in order to support what I call platform make sure the code is portable to different platform. And especially that if you're running, I mean, this two line, if you don't have it, the code might still run on MacBook or CSIF, but it will have problem running on WSL, Windows 10. So this two line is important because the C++ environment on Windows WSL, they didn't reset clean the memory to be null if you don't set any value. But just the differences that you can imagine for MacBook, it will set the pointer. If you anything you didn't set, the value you can assume is 0. But that assumption doesn't hold for all the platform. And therefore, to make sure your code is portable means that it will run without any problem in all the platform. You have to do this two line to set it to null. I mean, even this is maybe redundant because the system already set to null, but don't worry, you still set it to null, okay? If you set it to null, this actually avoid a lot of segfault already. Okay, just let you know that. That was the question for Sesame. Sesame, are you still there? Okay. Okay.
Oh, hi, Professor.
Yeah,
It's
Wei-Pin.
in my turn. Can I screen share? I just some clarifying question about. Yeah, can I screen
Sure.
share?
Go ahead.
So, I am not supposed to do this slide twice if I have one already on the server. I should clear it out, remove it before I do the second time. If that makes sense, I can show you.
What do you mean by this?
So for example, now on my sorry, you are not seeing my code.
I couldn't see your code. I just see your JSON.
Oh, here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here the servers I already have it. Let me see.
Oh, if your server already have those, I mean, when you do the testing, you should remove those.
I should remove it and
remove that post and then just do it again, right? Because otherwise, I mean, you can have it. It just good to do the test, right? If you have those two, you can do search, then you will get this too. But if you follow the test case purely for test cases, that you can remove those and then start from the beginning again to have a clean run.
okay, because if I don't remove it, it gives me segmentation faults.
That would be a different problem. If you actually have that segmentation fault, I mean, that is a segmentation fault because regardless you have data there or not, right? You shouldn't have a segmentation fault. So you should actually check your code to see how that happened.
Okay, see now, yeah. Okay.
So it's still a segmentation fault. There's somewhere here that you either didn't check the null pointer or there's some cases that hasn't considered correctly. Okay.
Okay, but I didn't remove anything in the service. But if I remove it, no more segmentation faults. But that is another.
Right. I understand that for the test cases, maybe it's okay, right? To remove it, to run it. But I think on the other hand, it's a good thing for you to have a segmentation for now. Your program is testing with more cases. And now the bug reveal when you have a more complicated test cases. I think it's a good thing. I mean, my opinion is that when you actually receive segmentation fault, it's always a good thing because you know there are some problem that you need to take care. Okay.
This segmentation faults, it's really hard to fix it. Even though it's been a couple of days and.
But do you know where it is? Did you know which code that causing the segmentation fault?
Not yet. Because I think
have you add the approach I was talking about, adding printf statement?
Yes.
Throughout the code.
I added a couple places. Maybe I should add more.
Yeah, you need to add more. Yeah, it's not, a couple places not good enough. I mean, I usually start adding every section, and then within that section, I actually add more. So exactly I know which line causing that segmentation fault.
Got it. Can I show you something? Now,
Sure.
so on the servers, and then I remove it, and then now they are gone. And then I run my servers again. And then now it's all good again. Now it's all good. I can do whatever, how many times I want to do, and then it's good. But if I shut down my servers and then I run my servers again, okay, and then I do the step. I think that's a step 2 or step 3, that the update JSON test.
You know,
And
I'm thinking, I'm just guessing, Wei Pen, that because the reason the file there is causing segfault is on the server side. He saw that the file is there, so he tried to do something which actually triggered the return value to the client side is going to be different. And that difference, that somehow the data is not the correct format, so the client didn't check, and then they try to do something with that data, is causing segmentation fault. So it's both client side problem and server side problem, in my opinion.
oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I think you have both, but you need to identify the location of the segfault and then help you to go into. Sometime to know the location of the segfault is the first step, because usually the problem with the segfault is not the problem at the location. The location is just when it got exploded, but it's somewhere else that you didn't set it right, didn't do it right. So segfault is a tremendous valuable experience for student to actually to learn in that process. Okay.
But I just want to point out on your text case, you told us to remove it before we run this again.
Yeah.
So I feel like I am passing all the text case, which I think I am good, but I am not actually. I still have this problem to solve.
Yeah, I think for the grading process, yes, the TA probably won't test like the way you test. So your program might work fine in terms of being graded. Okay, I mean, to be honest with you, if they follow the guidance about how this thing should be graded, then your program will work fine. But my concern is that that doesn't mean that it's a good thing for you to missing a good opportunity for you to learn to solve this problem.
Because it don't really supposed to happen.
Right,
Oh, and
right. I mean, ultimately, that where the test cases we have for homework 6 is so simple that a lot of problem it won't occur. But the important thing for this class is for you to really learn the experience, so you can in the future can build a really solid C++ system. Okay.
got it. And another question is on the let me see the. Sorry, taking a little bit long. So on the text case, oh, where is it? So when the print out, we are only expected to get this on the server side. We are only expect to get the post and JSON, and then it say created. And then instead of this, I have the server in front because I put it into the file.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. Perfect fine. Okay.
That's fine with me. Yeah, that's okay.
All right. Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, let me see what question. Sergio, I'm getting a segfault. So, Sergio, if I understand your question correctly, when you add the printf statement, you want to make some kind of label so you know the location of that printf statement. And then usually we start with the main program and then we add more as we progress. And then you want to see where is that printf statement, the last printf statement got print, and after that statement and before the next printf statement should have come up, and the segfault should be occur in between those two printf statements. So that's a debugging strategy called what fence. And follow that, you kind of narrow down, and then exactly you will actually see where it is. Okay. I don't know what you mean by you print double, and because you're supposed to add not just one printf statement, right? You're going to print so many of them, and each of them with a different label. So then you know which one got print, which one didn't get print. That helps you to narrow down the location of the code when that happens. Does that answer your question, Sergio? Yeah, go ahead, Sergio.
Could I share my screen just so it's a little bit more clear?
Sure.
Okay. So basically, let me show you when I ran my server and as well as my client. So when I ran my test print statements, I put 9 different print statements within my code. And I put them from 1 to 9. But you see how the first one I ran was 7? So that was pretty odd to me because
that's a client side or server side?
This is client side.
Okay, so you have a one. No, that could be explainable. Can we take a look at your code? Client. I mean, do you want to share that code?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Now. Okay. Can I first see your? Oh, so you put it in. Where did you put it?
That was in JSON post. Sorry about that. Right here. So I put 1 here, and it keeps on going down.
Where's the 7?
7's down here. 6, 7, right here.
Which line?
Line 278.
Okay, so I mean, if I understand correctly, that's I think it's a 7 because when the HW6 update call the function is actually first is going to call JSON to post.
Right.
It's called JSON to post, so immediately it prints 7. And when it go down a little bit, can you go down a little bit? And when you call line, then it will try to call line 316, right? The SQ is going to call 316. And 316, you start to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 should come out first, according to this logic.
Oh, okay, I see.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So now you know that you should look at for, can we go back to your where you print 6?
Yes, right here. Line 248.
Okay. So it looks like, so where is next one? Do you have an 8 or 9?
Yeah, I have 8 and 9 down here. 8 and 320.
No, those are in merge, right?
Yes.
Those are in merge. Oh, can you go back, go up a little bit? You have 7, right?
Yes.
7 is here. Okay, so it go down a little bit. Can you go down a little bit? Okay, so okay, can you actually add another line in 316? Add a line in 316 saying print, say 71 or something. So I want to see whether it can make it that far to output. You just copy that line, whatever.
Okay, I'm just gonna copy the other print
Yeah,
statement.
to copy the 77 to 71 or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see if it make the outside the JSON post, so we know. By the way, just want to share with you, you don't have to make a claim all the time,
Oh, really?
because yeah, just make it would be fine. Yeah, make a claim is occasionally you do that when you suspect something wrong, but if your makefile is correct, then you don't have to make a claim.
Oh, okay. That's
It will save you some time when
Yeah,
you,
it would.
especially before the deadline.
okay. So let me do this again.
Okay, so it's actually get out of the test, right? So it's
Yes.
get out. Can I go back to your JSON post.cpp? Okay, so it passed line 317. So it go down, but then it didn't reach. Sorry, can you go back?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? It actually go back because you actually return. You see the line 326, it will not be reachable because you always return that my post pointer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the problem is somewhere whoever called this function, called JSON to post. So it's outside.
It's
So
outside.
so the segment doesn't occur in JSON post.cpp. It's actually, I think you should check the HW6 update. You're doing update or search? I forgot. You were doing search or doing update? Do you have this?
My client side?
Yeah, client side.
I believe it was update.
Okay, so now let's look at the update. Where did you call JSON to post?
Right here.
Okay. All right. So maybe you want to add a printf statement there
Okay.
at line 60, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, just say something different. No. Can I go back? Can I go back? It's not enough. You have to do more. Can you just copy the line 60 to also add something to line after line 69?
Okay.
And then also add another line after 72. No, between 72 and 73, another one. I just want to add everything.
Is this fine?
Okay, yeah, that should be good enough.
Okay.
My guess is, can you also do a test? I'm thinking that whether the post pointer is actually correct. Can you actually check around 68? At the 68, say if my post underscore PTR, sorry, parenthesis. You have to say parenthesis, my post. Yeah. If it's not equal to null. No, not equal to null. No, yeah, not equal to null. Capital. Oh no, yeah, that's correct. Null, and then parenthesis, finish, and then you do the following. You hit enter, put a curly bracket. Okay, and get rid of the second curly bracket you just have. And then go down a little bit. No, go move the cursor, not new line. Go down, And then right before return 0, at the line 83, put another curly bracket to close it. Up a little bit, up a little bit. Yeah, here. Yeah, put the curly bracket. Okay, compile the program and see what happens.
Okay.
You just type make. Yeah, this will be fine. Okay. Did you run the server already?
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
No problem. Okay, so let's actually see. This is interesting. So we have test 2, test 3. Can we go back to your code? So you print test 2 and test 3.
This is test
So-
2 right here, test 3 here.
So it didn't. So that line has problem. You see that line has problem. So it means that the server didn't get back. Wait a minute. That one is already die. Okay, I know. I think the problem is in dumbj, because I don't think my client update will cause problem, but I think dumbj will cause problem. So let me do one thing. Can you add the line after 70? I just want to confirm that dumbj is causing the problem. So add a line after 72. Add a line after 72, line 72. Okay, say std : cout. And then smaller than. And then I will say, write the following. My underscore post pointer to the dumbj.
You said my post?
Yeah, my post pointer point to dumbj. No, pointer. It's very similar to what you have. No, not pointer. Hyphen and greater than. Very similar to 76. I want to reproduce what 76. Dumbj, then say dumbj parenthesis, and then pointer to the style strings, to styled string. And then parenthesis.
Capital J.
Yeah, you might want to, okay, you might want to put the parenthesis right before my post pointer and close the, yeah. And then, no, another parenthesis after the dumbj parenthesis. Yes, that would be good. Okay, and then smaller than, another 2, and then another 1. Yeah, is there a typo there? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So let's semicolon. You need to put a semicolon at the end. Okay, let's try to compile to see if it's dumbj is really causing problem. It's going to causing problem right there already.
Yeah.
There was an arrow.
Oh, dumb.
I don't think it's gonna work.
That's okay. That happened.
Yeah.
Is that capital or lowercase j you have there? Okay.
It's a capital.
It's capital. I cannot see from my screen. Okay, let's try to run it, see what happens. Okay, so you see, we verified that it's actually crashed right after test 2, right? So it means that it crashed inside the dumbj. If you go back to your code, you see it didn't print test 3.
Right.
It actually, so means that inside dumbj is the one that post dumbj has some problem. So you might need to go to the post dumbj to to clean out things. But you're using Windows 10, is that right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so I think because this happens so much, so I ask you a favor to, can you show me your post.cpp?
Yes.
Okay, so I already see the bug. The line 5 and line 6. You need to add a few lines here after that. Okay, that is what I cover in lecture 15 for this. So can I take my screen back?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So I just want to see, I mean, I said I help 10 students. I mean, in this class, I already help at least 2 students. So for your comment.cpp, you need to add this 2 line. This is for your comment, okay? For your comment CPP, you need to add constructor, need to add, sorry, this 2 line here. Okay, so the other thing you need to add is post.cpp. And you need to add this line. So usually, I think what you have right now is only...
It's just the author and the essay.
You just have this 2, right?
Right, yeah.
But just like this 2, let me actually get it done. I want to copy this comment here, so I be consistent for instruction purpose. So the following is actually, you have to set this to be, hold on 1 second. So you need to change both comment.cpp and post.cpp, and you need to add all this to set it to be null, okay? In order to avoid it, because if you don't have a null, I think you're going to have some problem, especially with a window machine. I mean, the root cause problem is actually the identify the locality of your code is probably under somewhere in dumj, but to change this to maybe that will go away. There might be other problem that you need to worry about, but at least right now, I think you see what I'm trying to approaching the problem, try to find the locality. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Why don't you try to do that yourself a little bit, and also take a look at lecture 15 as well. Okay.
I will do. Thank you so much, Professor.
You're very welcome. Okay, so let me see. I hope I clear a problem from Wei Pen. Mohammed. Let me see, how do I answer that question? Okay, I'm going to use Mohammed. I'm going to share my screen. Do I have a redacted version of? I thought I have a redacted version of the server. Where am I? Okay, I think I'm going to my. Okay, Mohammed, I'm trying to show you the code, which is including the reference interpretation, and see if where you think you need more information. Okay. So this is the function is already in the update implementation about handling update. You're talking about HW6 update. This is on the server side. In the update, I have some logic about how to obtain the file. Oh, I know. I actually gave a I did give a PowerPoint in the one of the session last week. So let me bring out the slide. I think it was on, maybe it's on 14. Let me actually check. 14 or 15. Is this case? No, not this case. Let me check. Sorry, I'm have to search for that diagram I drew. Ah, here. Okay, this is the update on I did have this slide. So basically, when we do this server update, that this is the flow that's going to handle. The important thing is you're handling 3 cases. Okay, the case 1 is basically you use the, that's why I'm saying that you use the ID, and then you first one you want to check whether this particular ID, the post, is already on the post map. If it's on post map, then you know that means the C++ post is already exists. So what I'm saying is that case 1 is that the post that you refer to is already have a C++ object that you get that pointer for the post map. So this is a 3 case, case 1. So you're just calling the merge at that time. Case 2 is a bit complicated, is that the post is not on the memory, not in the memory, which means that not found from the post map, but there is a post whatever object that on your file system on the server side. So in this case, that you need to, you go back here, in this case, that's case number 2. So you're actually using the code, doing fopen or whatever to read that file in, and then try to generate that the post pointer. So essentially, you bring that memory from file format to the C++ object format, and then you do the merge. So case 1, case 2 is both merge. The case 1 is just directly merge because you can find it on post map. Case 2 is you couldn't find it on post map, but you actually found it on file. Then you bring back to the C++ object, then you merge. And if it's case 3, means that is not in post map, it's not in file system, then basically you just do an update. You just do JSON to post directly doing this case 3. Okay. So, and then by the way, in either one of the 3 cases, at the end, you need to save this to file. That's why we're saying on the server side, we expect you have this file post whatever ID.json that will be generated. Okay, that's this part that you have to generate this file over here. Okay, does that answer your questions?
Yeah, Professor. I have a question. So for case 2, how do we exactly transfer the file to a C++ object?
Okay, so you first convert that file. You read the file in using fread. By the way, the simple code has that. You convert that to a string in the memory, and then you call JSON to post because okay, sorry, there are 3 steps. Let me actually describe that. Add another slide here. So basically, you're saying how to do the from the file to the C++ post object, right? That's your question, right?
Yeah.
So number 1, you have to open the file and read the file into a buffer. The buffer is usually is a character, is a C buffer, and the simple code is actually provided already. Okay, how do you do that, right? And the second part is convert that character. The character is essentially, you can easily convert it into a string, which is a string format of JSON, okay? And at this point, you just parse the JSON string into JSON value. Okay, this part is also sample code provided already. Okay, and now you have JSON value, then you can call JSON to post. And then the argument inside here is JSON value. And JSON to post will return I will just do here. When you call this, it's going to return a pointer to post, which is your C++ post object. Okay, so this is the step. So let me just show you very quickly what do I mean by the simple code. Okay, if you come here, you see this part. This part is the part that's actually you're going to convert the string to JSON value. So this is the code that you're actually doing the parse. You actually generate the from a string to a JSON value, and you can see that this JSON value is going to be put under the variable called my v message, just as an example. And then you can just call where is the JSON to post the code? Okay, maybe that's in another place. I call JSON to post. It's basically the JSON to post will take the JSON value as argument. But here is another piece of code that's actually going to do the file. The file code I will just use don't use this part. Use the file code. I will just use update. Do I have it here? Okay, I will use HW6 client. Okay, you can see that here I'm reading the file. This part is the code. I read the file using argv1. That's your file. If you can read the base update JSON, this is the same way you're going to read post underscore whatever blah 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 dot JSON. It's the same way of code. It's the same file. You can see that this part, I'm trying to read the file. This two line is about reading the file, and this part is about reading the file. This part obtain, and then until now, I'm actually reading the file into this buffer called jf1ptr. That's the file I'm actually talking about. So if I look at my slide, this one, the result is going to put jf1ptr. That's the character pointer. Okay, and now we're going to move to the next step, which now you see that the next part, after you've done everything here, now at this point, you have the jf1 ptr contain the string format of the JSON. And now you're actually processing this part. When you do a parse, you just parse jf1 ptr to get this part to do this. And then it will generate the my v message, which is the JSON value. So this is the line of code that's actually from your homework 5 that you can use to do this. Is that helpful to understand, Mohammed?
Yeah, thank you. I have just one question. So
sure.
after we parse it, should we call JSON post or JSON merge?
Okay, it depending on what you like to do. I mean, I mentioned this way. It depends on which case that you're dealing with. Okay, depending on which case. So if you're in case number if you're in case number 1, you already have a C++ post object, so you're going to call merge immediately. If you're in case number 3, you're directly called JSON to post. But if you're in case number 2, this is the most interesting part. When you read the file in, because you need to create a C++ object. So for you to do that, when you read a file, you first need to call JSON to post. Now you got a C++ object. Now you have a new update coming in. Then you call JSON post merging. So the thing is depending on the case. So just summarize. Case number 1, you're going to call JSON to post. No, sorry. Case number 1 is JSON merge. Case number 2 is JSON to post first for the file you just read in from the server's file system, and then you're going to merge the new JSON string that you actually receive from the client. So 2 is actually you read it from the server and then you actually merge. So you call JSON to post on the server side, then you merge with the client side. And for case number 3, you just call JSON to post on the client side. Sorry, on the string you receive from the client side. So that's the 3 cases that you need to deal with. So you have to conceptually understand why you're doing this and how you're doing this, and then you'll implement the code. Just think about this, whether it's consistent with what I just said.
Okay. Yeah, I get it now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Last question. Sorry.
Sure. No problem. You're very welcome. Go ahead.
So how should we loop the condition for the second case for like the if statement?
How do I do the second case?
Yeah, just the condition.
Sure. The way I do it is this. Let me go back. I will do. Let me show you how I propose to do the condition. Okay. So this is case number 1. Okay. So now I'm going to do. Yes. So this one is case number 1. Okay. Over here, let me actually write it down. Case 1. Okay. So here is going to be case number 2, right? Okay, so now I'm going to tell you that this could be case number 2, could be case number 3. So the condition is that I will first check if the file exists, right? If the file exists for this post, right? So what I will do is now I'm actually going to using this code a little bit here. So what I did here is this is the code I copied from there. Okay. So assuming I have a file, let me just call it JF1 is fine. Okay. But here I don't have an argument v1, but what I do have is this little thing called fname buffer. This is the name which I construct the file name, okay, from the ID. So I'm going to copy this one, fname buffer. So I'm going to replace this argv1 with this fname buffer. So I'm trying to open that file. So instead of saying null, I will say this, is that if JF1 is equal to null, it means that I try to open the file doesn't exist. This will be case 3. But if the file does exist, I'm in case number 2. That's how I separate the 3 cases like this. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. Okay, let me see what other question I have. Manual. Okay, Manuel, I did that in one of the video before I said the demo, but I want to very quickly go through that again. Okay, let me go for the next few questions. Meghat, status fail problem in step 4. So if you have a status fail, by the way, what was the problem? Because sometimes you're supposed to get status fail. For example, the search engine, you couldn't you couldn't find anything. But if you expect something come back, it still says status fail. That means there is some issue coordination between the client side and the server side.
Professor, I got status fail, and then when I ran the GDB thing, it pointed to the keys. So I think my keys weren't printing or something. I'm not sure why I got status fail on the.
Okay.
Yeah, the
okay.
keys are not filling up.
Okay, so there might be some interesting I mean immediately this depending on your code, right? So my immediate suggestion will be where you think that key should exist in the part of the program from the client side, from the server side, and then you try to print out whether that key value is there or not. Also. Be careful about both JSON2Post and dumpj section. I mean, those are the usual suspect about things will go wrong related to key, and then you try to insert statement to printing the key. See if you can get some information. If you still have some problem, let me know. Okay.
Wait, I have so in the post.cpp, do you have a keys?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
yeah.
and so okay, fine. So my post dumpj has to have keys as well.
Yes, that's right. Post dumpj also have the place to handle the key as well. Yeah.
Okay, how do I go like about implementing that?
Okay, I mean, I show an example earlier in this session. Maybe you didn't see it, but I'm going to show it again. You see that the session, do I have the key? Yeah, this is the way in dumpj. I showed this piece of code earlier about how do you do the dumpj part, the key. And there is another session which is similar to this. It's related to the, I think it's JSON2Post, also have a session for key as well. Just
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, take a look at that, see if this will help, okay? And then if you have any question, let me know.
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. Let me just go through this very quickly to everybody because Melissa, do you still have a question? Or she's gone already, about 30 minutes ago. So Jenny, did you get your question answered? Jenny Wong, about the HW6 search, got an exception minus 32001. That looks to me there is some issue between the client and the server is not getting back the right thing. Jenny, you're muted, so we cannot hear you.
No, I didn't figure it out yet.
Okay, okay. Groot, regarding the file location, it should be okay, but it has to be consistent in both sides. So which means that for the client side, it's probably simpler because you're running a program from the client side or the server side. On the server side, is a little bit critical because if you save the file, you want to make sure that you save file in a place that later you try to retrieve it to do HW6 update, it will still be the same place, okay? So Julia, for the expected output from the homework 6 perspective, the expected output for homework 6 update is really only the file post underscore whatever the ID.json. That file is going to be saved on the server side. Okay, nothing on the client side. So in contrast, when you do search, you don't have to do anything on the server side, but you need to save something on the client side. Scott, are you still here?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me,
Yeah.
Professor?
Yeah, please go ahead with your question.
Okay, so I noticed that the word longitude was spelled incorrectly in the JSON.
Oh, thank you.
But it was spelled correctly in the search. So I was wondering, well, my code can handle both spellings, but I was wondering which one we should output.
No, use the right spelling. I'm sorry. Thank you. That's my mistake. I apologize. I will update the JSON such that longitude will be correct. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then my other question is whether or not we should print the results from the search. And what I mean by that is, I know we're supposed to save the results from the search into a file, but should we also print them?
That's your option. I don't require that because
Okay.
Yeah, it's your option. Yeah.
Okay, then I will not print them because it just adds a lot of clutter.
Yeah, it's just the reason I don't like to print it because sometimes I print a lot of things, so that's why I just save the file. Will be fine. Yeah. Thank you. Is that all your question?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. Jerry, you have a question?
Yeah, Professor. So when I do homework 6 update, I basically can get everything, but I couldn't get ID and type inside of the common part. Should I show you my code?
Sure.
So as you can see, this is the output from homework 6 update, and in the common part, the ID and type is not created. Everything else is fine, I think.
Okay, so I think there are two places. One is dumpj for the. Let's go to your dumpj on comment part.
On common part, okay.
Yeah, comment.cpp. Let's go to your comment.cpp. and go into the
shoot.
dump J.
Sorry, this is homework 5. I use that
It should
from
be-
homework 5 though.
No, can you go up a little bit? Okay, here, I want to stay here. So your ID is equal to LID, and LID, you're doing this, and this. Oh. Can you try to do this? I don't know whether this help, okay? Can you try to do this? Is that instead of define a local variable, std string LID, can you actually using a pointer? So you say std, you said line 24. No, I'm just modify your line 24.
Okay.
Your line 24 is let me see what's the best way. It shouldn't happen because ID they usually copy it. No, this doesn't make sense because you are actually copy the string. The JSON value will copy the string. Okay, so can you actually print on line 25 std cout? Sorry, remove 1D. Yeah, const cout, and then just print L_ID. See if you can get that. And then just after that, just say exit. Just say exit. Yeah, exit -1. Exit parenthesis -1. Exit parenthesis -1. I just want to see whether you got the ID. Can you compile the code and then try to run it again and see if
Let me delete the thing.
Yeah, you see, it's already dead. You see that?
Yeah.
So this code is okay. Can we print more stuff? Okay. You know what? I think those 3 field has not been parsed correctly. So so can you comment out 20? Okay, leave it there. Can we go to your JSON post.cpp?
And here is the comments part. It's pretty long.
Is this JSON post.cpp? Okay, the comment
Yeah, it
part.
is.
Okay, I want to look at the ID field. Okay, here's ID field. LJV. Let me see, what is LJV? Oh, no, this won't work. This won't work. Okay, this won't work. Because you directly, let me tell you what happened. If you look at your line 192, 193, and 94, you try to directly look at JSON to look at profile ID, post ID, and comment ID. They don't have the 3. So all the 3 will be null. That's why you don't get that one. So can I get my screen back? I want to show you a segment of code.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to use
yeah, I see.
Yeah, you need to use
I
a
see what you're
scanf
getting.
to you know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember you showed part of this code in homework 5 or 6. I can't remember.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's in one of the code that you need to first take it apart and then put it in. And
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to save some time, so I didn't do that.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's
Okay.
important because you need to get that. Then you can get the right ID. Okay.
Okay.
So
then what about the type? Oh, sorry.
That's a reaction, right? So I will suggest you to take a look also for your dump J on the so when you look at this kind of code, I mean it's not segmentation fault. It's usually related to the value when you print out. So my is always this one of these 2 places. I will first look at dump J for the reaction section under comments. and maybe dump.j on reaction as well. But it seems to me your reaction is okay. So it's probably happened in comment.reaction and or reactions.cpp, and then the other part is the JSON post.cpp, how you parse the reactions, and you might want to take a look. Yeah,
I'll take a look. Thank you.
Take a look. Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking at Ihan's question. Let me just take a look. What is the step 2 we're talking about? Okay, so Ihan, this is the issue that in your client program, that's actually you didn't do it correctly, because in the client program, in step 2 is a search clause, and the search clause is not a JSON post. It's very simple. It's just a keyword and the term. It doesn't have ID. The reason that you have that is because even though you're doing HW6 search, and for some reason you call the function JSON to post, when you do the search at the client side at the beginning, you're not supposed to call the JSON to post, because you don't have a post to parse, to generate. You're just submitting the keyword to the server. So you need to check, understand, make sure you understand the search, the process, and to call when is the right moment to call it, or where to call JSON to post, okay? Okay, I think I took care of the problem, but then I'll go back to the question that Manuel asked me about the test cases, right? So let me actually, Jerry, can you unshare your screen? Jerry, are you there?
Yeah, I am. I'm not sharing my screen, I think.
Some reason you're sharing your screen. Hold on for a moment. Okay, all right, I have it back. Okay. So I'm going to run the demo very quickly. So I'm going to remove the post. Okay, I have the search clause, so I'm going to run the program, but before that, I'm going to, okay, I might be in trouble. I don't have enough battery power. 1 second. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just step 1 is just follow the test cases. Step 1, I already make the directory. I already opened the window and then change the directory. So first I'm going to run the server side. So go to the server side. This window, I would just say there's nothing, /HW7 server. What do I have here? HW6 server, sorry. Okay, so I'm running the server. Now the next step is I'm going to do HW6 search on this one, but my search is HW7, so I have to do /HW7 search. I think it's search clause. Okay, and this keyword cannot be found. Okay, because I haven't updated that. Okay, so that's expected. I'm going to get status fail. So now I'm going to update. So I'm going to do /HW7 7 update. I think the file that I need to put in is JSON base input. Okay, so it's /JSON base input 1 like this. Okay, so I'm actually getting the file come back from here, but I do want to tell you that now my directory is still clean, but if you look at the server side, I just use this because I don't want to kill my server. You see that that file is already created. Okay, after I've done the update, it's been created. Okay, so now I can do a search again from the client side. So just show you that on the client side, I still have nothing. So now I'm going to search again. So now I'm actually getting something back. And the server side basically say, okay, I got an update. There's a keyword coming in. And then now you see, wait a minute. Okay, sorry, my search, I didn't do that. So I have to do something different. Sorry about that. I have a different version of program I need to do. Okay, I know. I have to do search per. That's my version. I changed the name a little bit. Sorry about that. Then I have my h1.json. Sorry. Okay, so in your program, you don't need to add the third element. I just want to tell you that's because I have homework assignment number 7 that I have this. Okay, after I've done this, you see that I have that post get generated on the client side. So that's your step number 4. When you do that, you actually have that file over. Okay, so that's the just step by step. You should expect what do you expect from one side to the other. Is that okay, Manuel? Let me check. Okay. All right. So I think I'm going to end the session, and I will put this to a video and then submit. But I will be online most of the time today. Okay. So let me know if you have any question. Okay. Any last minute question? All right. Okay. Good luck. Talk to you later.